Hello friends, today I will be talking about golden ticket and what to do after that. So golden ticket, which is a dream of every person. What is the golden ticket? What are the things you need to do after this? Let's see what they are. So hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmani Immigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Today very excited because today I have a very special video to share with you which you won't find it anywhere in a proper way. This is the information you need after you get your golden ticket. So I'll share the complete details with you, but before that, a small request. If you are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news, update, tips, tricks on this channel. If you like the video, please share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit. And please press the bell icon and so that this video comes to you immediately when we upload. If your file is going on for Canada or if you are dreaming to come to Canada, this is the channel you need to subscribe on to. So without further delay, let's move on to a very important topic, which is what to do. What to do after you get ITA. You got the ITA in Express Entry particularly. You got the ITA in Express Entry and now what to do? So first thing, of course you need to celebrate. Yes, you need to celebrate because this is a big achievement. You got an ITA. It's a celebration time. And whichever God you believe in, say thanks to Him. Thank you. Your prayers are listened. You got an ITA. Say thank you. But these two things are very important. But remember that clock is ticking. And this clock is going on and on. Because the moment you get ITA, you have 60 days. 60 days and 60 calendar days, which include holidays, which include Saturdays, Sundays, everything. So your clock is ticking. Now, many people ask, how would you say what is the overall process of Express Entry? So in my viewpoint, and this is my viewpoint, Express Entry is basically a three-step process. So the first step is you make the profile correctly. If you have the correct profile in the system, right profile, right knock code, right way it is listed, your chances increase manifold. So right profile, ITA. Second is getting the ITA. So once you receive the ITA, what you need to do? And third is, after you get the ITA, how to submit APR, application for permanent residence. And sometimes people call this EAPR because it is electronically submitted. You don't go and physically submit it. You submit it electronically. So it's called EAPR. So this is the three-step process of Express Entry in my viewpoint. Now, the question is, ITA is not same. Although you get ITA, but it depends. Within Express Entry also, ITA differ because you never know which category you got the ITA. So it will tell you which category you got the ITA. So under Express Entry, if you got the ITA, basically Express Entry is divided into federal and provincial, and under federal you have three big categories: federal skilled workers, Canadian experience class, and federal skilled trade. So these are the three categories. Provincial you have PNP. PNP, Provincial Nominee Program, but this is enhanced PNP, which gives you 600 points. So this is the overall category. So it depends which category you got your ITA. Depending upon that, your documents also change. So everything is not the same. It depends what kind of ITA you got. And what I am telling you is a generic viewpoint. These are must have. You may need much more than this. This is must have. Whatever I am going to tell you is must have, but other than that, you need much more. So now let's move on to, once you get an ITA, what do you need to do after that? Once you got the ITA, what is your things, what you need to do? So you need to do 3 things. Number 1, documents. Collect documents, gather documents. Number 2 is documents. Number 3 is also document. Yes, it is documents. Everything is documented. So you need documents to prove that whatever you have said in your profile is true, and you can prove that. Because you are not going to the visa officer. I am not going to the visa officer. What is going to the visa officer? Our file. Our file is going to the visa officer. Forms and document, that's all. Forms and document, that's all. So, once again, my friend, if you have still not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And now let's look at the documents. So, documents, the first and the most important document is your identification document. So, identification documents, the first and the most important document is your passport. A passport is a travel document, also identification document also. You can use it both ways. Passport, identification document, all your passports. Whatever passport, new, old, whatever you have it, need all the passports. Whatever country you have, sometimes people have multiple passports. They may have a British passport, they may have a passport from Pakistan. So, many countries allow more than one passport. Like in Canada, you can have a US passport, you can have a British passport, and you can have a Canadian passport also. So, all your passports, your national identity card. In India, it is called Aadhaar card. In Pakistan, Nadra. And there are many other countries, and every country has Ikama and all. So there are different countries, different cards, but you need your national identity card. Birth certificate, very, very important document, birth certificate. Driving license, that's also required. If you have multiple country driving license, need multiple country driving license. PAN card, it's also very useful, but that's also required. If you have changed your name in the past, name change documents, and any other government issued ID, if you have any other government issued ID, please provide it. There is no harm in going over and above. One less document will give you more problem than one more document. So provide that too. Now moving on to another category of documents, which is called travel documents. As I already told you, passport is a travel document also. So passport, all your passports, remember all your passports, visa, any visa you have on the passport, any kind of stamps you have on the passport, any kind of study permit, work permit, any kind of work visa you have, please provide. And any other travel document which you have, please share it. So all your travel documents. Now moving on to another category, which is called relationship document. What is relationship documents? So relationship document is your marriage certificate. How you are related to your spouse, marriage certificate. If you are not married but living together, common law relationship proof, divorce certificate. You need death certificate, particularly because you need to provide the family information too. So adoption certificate, if the kids are yours, and then birth certificate, if you have adopted the kids, then adoption certificate, but these are required, needed, period. Now next thing, education documents. So education document, you need ECA. ECA can be done by any of the 5 agencies. VAS is most popular, but ECA is required if your studies are outside Canada, remember, outside Canada, even if your studies are from US, ECA is required. No bargaining on this. ECA is needed. Next, all degrees, all diplomas, all transcripts, all certificates, all trade qualifications, and if you have from Canada, if you got a provincial certification of qualification, because you get points for certification of qualification. So if you have that, need to provide that. So next category, after education documents. The next category is language proficiency. Here I am going to talk only about English, but French also you can provide if you are having a French speaking partner also. So here the French part is TCF or TEF, but English there are two tests. One is IELTS, the second one is CELPIP. So these are the two mandatory, either of them you have to provide it. Mandatory document, no relaxation needed. And if you are married, you need to provide it for yourself as well as for your spouse. So these IELTS or CELPIP is required for immigration purposes. Only two English language tests are allowed. One is IELTS, the second one is CELPIP. IELTS, when we say IELTS General, remember IELTS General, GT. Now, moving on, work experience. The most important, and my friend, this is the category where maximum refusal comes. Maximum refusal come because of this. Take my words, maximum refusals are only because of not providing the right documents in this category. You need to provide complete employment history, job letters, your reference letters, your pay slips, salary slips, pay stubs, ITRs, income tax return in India. And if you are here in Canada, you need to provide your T4s, you need to provide your notice of assessment, you need to provide record of employment, and you need to provide copies of any kind of appraisals or any kind of awards you have got during your tenure or working. All this is needed. Moving on to the next category, which is police clearance certificate. This is real pain. Getting these documents is real pain because it's not easy and it's valid only for 6 months. So it should not be no more than 6 months old at the time of submission of the APR. So you cannot take it now and apply after 1 year. Useless, right? So, and again, if you have a big travel history, this is going to really, create a problem for you. So 6 months or more, if you have stayed in any country, you need to have a police clearance certificate. And this is required for principal applicant, this is required if you are married, you require for your spouse also, and any child above the age of 18 or major age. So this is where it is required, police certificate. Moving on to next very, very important document, which is called medical exam. So medical exam, you just can't go to a corner doctor and say, get me a medical done. There are panel physicians. I have a complete video on medical exam. You can check that. Here I'm just touching upon some of the important things. You have to go to a panel physician which is approved by IRCC, and they will do the medical exam, send the report to IRCC, provide you a confirmation or a medical report form that yes, you have undergone a medical exam, but you will not be provided any kind of results. You will be provided with a confirmation. And you need to do this before you submit. Again, before you submit your application for express entry, you need to get your medical exam done. Upfront medical exam. This is called UPE. Upfront UME, upfront medical exam. So this UME needs to be done. Now moving on to another category, which is digital photo. Another small category, small thing, but can lead to refusal. Such a small thing lead to refusal. So digital photo as per specification of IRCC. You just can't go and take a picture of yourself, that's not possible. It's not possible. You need to go to a photo studio, your name, date of birth, and the name or complete address of the photo studio needs to be there on the back of the photo, along with the date when the photograph is taken, along with the stamp or handwritten signature. So all this is required, must, in the digital photo. Now next category is relatives of Canada. Well, relatives are relatives. They sometimes help, sometimes don't. And again, when you are talking about relatives can help you two places in Express Entry. One, they can give you 5 adaptability points, plus you can get 15 CRS points also. So what happens is, for relatives, to prove that you have a relative, you need to get what? You need to get their Canadian passport or PR card. You need to get the birth certificate showing the relationship. And for brother and sisters, you can get CRS points also. Again, you need to provide the documentation. Detailed documentation is required for this. So proof of relatives in Canada. Next stage is proof of settlement funds. So settlement funds are the minimum amount. Again, I have a complete video on this, you can check that. So settlement funds, you need to have a proof that you have certain amount of money with you, which depends upon the size of the family. So depending upon the size of the family, you can prove that you have money. When you go into the new country, you can settle there, and again that can be proven with the help of the bank statements. Whatever banks, if you have multiple banks, you do banking with more than one bank, you need to provide that. So with that, you need to provide the information needs to be on the bank letterhead with address, information about the bank, the contact numbers, and about you, your account number, your details, your name, and all this has to be stamped and signed by the bank. So all this needs to be for 6 months minimum. Average balance, it needs to be. You just can't bring a one piece of paper and say, oh, here is a balance certificate. Useless. Right? So this is proof of settlement funds. Next is your payment. Well, everything goes all about money, right? So everything revolves around the money, and IRCC will need money to process your application. So you need to pay the fee correctly, and for that you need to pay for yourself. And if your spouse is also coming, for spouse and any dependent kids which you are bringing along. So you need to pay all this to finally submit your application. This is generic kind of document list which you need, must have kind of thing, but it may vary depending upon ITA, as I already told you. If you need to discuss your own case with us, more than welcome to do that. You can book an appointment with us. Our office is located in Brampton only. Address, email ID, phone number, everything is shared right here with you. Very important thing. If you have still not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, because our team puts lots of effort to bring all this information to you. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.